It seems a new contender is emerging to challenge the dominance of Nvidia in the AI chip market.
Tenstorrent is the name, and they're already attracting serious attention and investments.
Serious attention from some pretty big names, I understand.
That's right, we're talking about the likes of Jeff Bezos, Samsung, and LG.
So what is it about Tenstorrent that has these industry giants so interested?
Tenstorrent's goal is to make high-performance AI more accessible. They want to create chips and systems that can compete with Nvidia's, but with a focus on affordability.
So they're aiming to reach a broader market, those who may find Nvidia solutions too expensive.
Exactly. Nvidia mainly focuses on big tech companies like Google and Microsoft. Tenstorrent wants to empower smaller companies and organizations to use the power of AI without the high cost.
It's certainly a bold move taking on a company like Nvidia. What makes them believe they can succeed?
Well, leading Tenstorrent is Jim Keller, a very well-known figure in the semiconductor industry.
What's his background?
He's worked on groundbreaking processor architectures at companies like Apple and AMD. His expertise and vision give Tenstorrent a lot of credibility.
That's definitely a strong point in their favor. But do they have any concrete signs of progress so far?
They've already secured $150 million in contracts. That shows their offerings are attracting customers even at this early stage.
That initial traction is promising. But how do they plan to compete with Nvidia's huge market share and resources? What's at the heart of their strategy?
Their approach to chip design and development is fundamentally different. They're not relying on expensive proprietary components like high bandwidth memory.
What are they using instead?
They're embracing open source technology and using more readily available, cost-effective hardware.
I see. So how does that translate into a competitive edge? How does that allow them to challenge Nvidia?
By avoiding those pricey specialized components, they can significantly lower production costs. This allows them to offer more affordable solutions.
So they're making AI technology accessible to a wider range of companies and industries that couldn't afford it before.
Precisely.
What kind of impact could this have on the overall AI landscape?
It's like any disruptive innovation. By lowering the barriers to entry, they could really speed up the pace of AI development and adoption across different sectors.
That could lead to a surge in innovation and new opportunities. What role does Jeff Bezos' investment play in all of this? What does his involvement say about Tenstorrent's future?
Well, Jeff Bezos is known for making smart investments. He has a talent for identifying those disruptive technologies that can change industries.
So his investment through Bezos Expeditions must be a big vote of confidence for Tenstorrent.
It certainly is. But even with all that, they still face a huge challenge going up against a company like Nvidia.
What are the main obstacles they'll need to overcome?
Nvidia already has a massive head start in the market. They have more resources, more brand recognition, and a larger share of the market.
Anything else that could slow down Tenstorrent's progress?
Nvidia has a well-established ecosystem built around its products.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, they have the hardware, the software, and a large network of developers and partners.
So Tenstorrent will need to build something similar to attract and keep customers. How can they do that with an open source approach? Wouldn't that make it harder to create a unified platform?
That's a key point. Open source relies on building a strong and active community around the technology.
So what will Tenstorrent need to do specifically?
They need to actively engage with developers, incentivize contributions, and make sure their open source platform stays competitive and interesting.
Aside from building that ecosystem, are there any technological challenges they need to tackle?
Can their open source, cost-effective approach really match the performance of NVIDIA's top-of-the-line chips?
Good question.
That's where Jim Keller's expertise comes in. He's got a proven track record designing processors that are both high-performing and energy efficient.
So how will that help Tenstorrent?
Tenstorrent is using a more modular and scalable architecture. That lets them optimize performance for certain AI tasks.
So instead of creating one solution for everything, they're tailoring their chips to specific applications.
Exactly.
And they can still keep costs down.
That's the idea. They believe this focused approach will allow them to offer competitive performance at a lower cost.
How does this strategy fit with what's happening in the AI market right now? Are there any trends that work to Tenstorrent's advantage?
The AI landscape is changing quickly. There's growing demand for specialized AI chips.
What are these specialized chips used for?
Things like natural language processing, computer vision, and robotics.
I see.
This trend towards specialization really plays to Tenstorrent's strength, allowing them to target niche markets and those new applications that are emerging.
So if Tenstorrent manages to democratize access to high-performance AI, What are the potential consequences?
The impact could be huge.
In what way?
A more accessible AI landscape would empower smaller companies, startups, even researchers to innovate and develop cutting-edge AI applications.
So we could see a surge in AI-driven solutions in all kinds of industries.
Precisely.
How might that affect big players like Nvidia? Could this disrupt their dominance and change the entire competitive landscape?
If Tenstorrent starts gaining traction, it could force Nvidia to rethink their pricing and their product offerings.
Would they have to do that to stay competitive?
They might. It could also encourage other companies to enter the market with their own alternative solutions.
Leading to a more dynamic, innovative ecosystem overall.
That's one possible outcome.
It will be interesting to see how this competition unfolds. But looking beyond just the market share, what are the wider societal implications of a more democratized AI landscape?
A world where AI is more accessible has the potential to unlock some really positive changes.
Can you give me some examples?
It could empower individuals and communities. It could speed up scientific discovery. It might even help us find solutions to some of humanity's most pressing challenges.
How might it improve people's lives and create new opportunities?
Think about AI-powered medical diagnostics being readily available even in those communities that haven't had access to this kind of technology.
That would certainly lead to earlier disease detection and treatment for a lot of people.
It would, and think about the potential for education. AI could allow for truly personalized education.
Tailored to each student's individual learning style?
Exactly.
That could really boost engagement and academic achievement.
It has the potential to.
Yeah.
And it's not just healthcare and education. AI could revolutionize other industries too.
What other sectors come to mind?
Manufacturing, for one. AI could optimize production, cut down on waste, and even make it possible to create customized products.
Interesting. What about an industry like agriculture? Could AI have an impact there?
Absolutely. AI could help farmers get the most out of their crops, manage the resources better, and adapt to those changing climate conditions we hear so much about these days.
It sounds like the possibilities are endless. But like any technology this powerful, there are risks involved and ethical questions we need to answer.
You're right. As AI becomes more widespread, we have to be sure it's being developed and used responsibly.
What are some of the concerns?
We have to consider potential biases. We need to make sure we're protecting people's privacy, and we need to think about the impact AI could have on employment.
So how do we mitigate those risks? How do we ensure AI is used ethically and benefits humanity?
Transparency and accountability are key. We need clear guidelines and regulations for AI development and use.
What should those guidelines focus on?
Making sure AI systems are fair, making sure they're unbiased, and making sure they respect individual privacy.
So regulations are important. But what role can individuals and organizations play in all of this?
Education and awareness are vital. People need to understand AI better so they can participate in informed discussions.
So they can make responsible decisions about AI adoption.
Precisely. And companies developing AI systems need to take ethics seriously.
What specific steps can they take?
Ethical considerations should be a priority throughout the whole development process, from data collection to algorithm design to deployment and monitoring.
So they need to build ethics into the systems from the ground up.
And they should establish clear ethical guidelines with ways to identify and address potential problems like bias or unintended consequences.
It's a lot to consider, but it seems like we're at a pivotal moment in the evolution of this technology.
Oh.
As we wrap up our conversation, what key message would you leave our listeners with?
The future of AI isn't set in stone. It depends on the choices we make right now.
What kind of choices?
If we commit to responsible development, to using AI ethically, and to having open conversations about these issues, then we can use the power of AI to create a better future for everyone.
Thank you for taking the time to share your expertise with us today. It's been a fascinating discussion.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.